you. You know I'm alive with you.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Ferg here, back again with another Call of Duty Mobile video. And indeed, the developers have released a statement or a community update like they do every 2 weeks on Reddit, and we're going to be going through it today. They've talked about some buffs and nerfs, some stuff that will be coming to the game in the near future, and basically keeping the community up to date with everything that is going on inside of the game. So without any further ado, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on those notifications if you're new around here, and let's get into this. So straight off the bat, they're just talking about grading the Call of Duty Mobile Community. They're like halfway through, or we're halfway through Season 3 now, which means we've only got like a month left, and we're going to be going into Season 4, which is actually kind of insane, dude. I can't believe we're already about to hit Season 4 inside of Call of Duty Mobile. It feels like just yesterday when I was hopping down for the first time. Obviously, if you guys didn't know, I played in the beta, so I played this game back in May, really long time ago, and it feels like the game is still so fresh and so fun, even though I've been playing it for like 6 months, which is really weird. The only thing obviously that I would say, like if you guys watched the video where I talked about everything that I would like them to add and stuff, and what people are not liking about the game, if they added more maps sooner or quicker, that would be great. But either way, they go on to say throughout this month you can expect to see some classic game modes return, like hardpoint, gun game, and some brand new in-game events. Also some BR map changes. If you guys don't play BR, they actually update and change the map quite a lot. Every time I go on to Battle Royale, there's something new with the map. When I went on the other day, there was a big freaking orby like cube thing in the sky just floating around, and I was like, what the heck is that? But apparently it's been like this for a couple of weeks now. Like, I didn't even realize, but every time I go on to BR, there's always stuff changing and always something going on. It's a completely dynamic map, which is really cool. I've never seen that in a mobile title before. So then they go on to talk about last week we dropped another look at our next multiplayer map, Cage. Dude, Cage has been leaked for like over 2 months now. I remember talking about Cage at the end of Season 2, and now we're about to be at the end of Season 3. Well, we're halfway through Season 3, but still, dude, like, what's going on with Cage? Hurry up and release it. It should come by the end of Season 3, so within the next month or so, Cage will arrive and we will actually be able to play it. Finally, gosh, it's been so long. And then they talk about news and updates further down the article here. Lunar Festival event. Nobody really cares about that because it's already happened or whatever. BR Sniper Challenge. I know that you guys, most of you guys don't play BR. Either way, BR Sniper Challenge, pretty cool. Hardpoint, Valentine's Day is coming. We've already received all of that kind of stuff. BR Warfare, that's actually a really good mode. It's a shame that there's no like ranked mode for that. It's actually kind of fun though, the BR Warfare mode. And then they talk about more like weekly challenges through Season 3, focused around tasks in both multiplayer and Battle Royale, as per usual with the weekly challenges. And you may notice that some of the modes like gun game may have tasks specifically tied into whatever the weekly challenge is currently running. So there'll be like gun game challenges, hardpoint challenges, and if they add any other game modes like Capture the Flag, which has been in the game since the beta also, they just haven't released it. It's really weird how much content is actually in the game files. They just haven't released it. There's a whole separate game with all this separate stuff and all these little goodies. It's almost like it's the other side of the rainbow, and my little Irish hand just wants to go over the top, grab the gold, and yoink it back to where I want to play it. But it's just not the case, ladies and gentlemen, and they just have all of this content over the rainbow, and they're not giving it to us, and it's making me mad. But either way, moving on, they talk about how Hardpoint's going to be returning. Bring it to ranked. Y'all already know how I feel about that. Hardpoint is coming on February the 9th, which is actually the day that I upload this video, so Hardpoint should be back for everyone who is looking for that. Also, there's going to be a login. Well, the login event is basically over. It ends on the 9th, so it will end today. The last day that you can get the PDW Lunar New Year is today, so make sure to get online and get that as well. Then they talk a little bit about the Taiyan Xiao Soldier Crate. I didn't buy that. It didn't really look like a cool skin to me. It was too bland. And then obviously the AK-117 Year of the Rabbit was, yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool. They talk more about the credit store update. Now, you guys may have noticed that they've actually released the S36 for free. They released it for free. Yep, they've just released a pile of S36 skins. I mean, they're really milking it now. They're really milking how good this gun is. And then I know what's coming, chat. We'll talk about it in a second. This is why you clicked on the video, man. It's coming soon. Bug reports, la-di-da-di-da. They talk about some bugs here and there, but there's really not that many bugs other than a couple of crashing issues. I've actually experienced some crashing issues inside of the game, like crashing and freezing freezing. It's happened twice in the last week with my iPad, but my iPad's kind of old now. I mean, it's from 2017. I'm not saying that like 2017 devices are extremely old, but I've been using this iPad every single day for like at least 4 hours a day, and it's coming to the end of its life cycle. So hopefully they continue to improve on those low-end devices like mine. And then they talk about make sure you've performed basic troubleshooting first, etc., like restarting your device, clearing your cache, or reinstalling the application. That's what I actually did. I actually reinstalled the application, and hopefully it works sometime soon. Then they talk more about like linking your device to the Call of Duty account and stuff like that. If any of you screwed that up, make sure to read this article. I'll link it down below. You can trust me, everything that I say is 100% from the developers. I don't really leak anything that is not stated by the developers unless it's actually in the game files. And purchasing issues, there's been a ton of those. I actually still have $400 not given to me in COD points, so I'll probably do that after I make this video and go and try and contact them. Then they released feedback. So this is where we get into the juicy stuff. Now, you've got to keep in mind that this article came out 1 day ago from when I'm making this video, but basically what happens is they do like quality control of articles like this, and this article was probably ready between 3 to 4 days ago. The developers that I've talked to in the past, they always say that they don't release stuff like this until a couple of days after it's completely 100% okay, and the higher ups have basically okayed it. So everything that you're going to be reading here is basically from before S36 took over the whole of the game. When I read this, I was like, why are they not addressing this? But then I read it again and I was like, huh, this makes sense because they've written this article before the S36 took over the ranked scene and took over multiplayer. So it makes sense. Either way, let's talk about this. Weapon balance in the S36. When our developers consider weapon balancing, it is something that not only requires feedback from the community, but that feedback is paired against in-game data about how a weapon performs or is used in comparison to other weapons. Back in December of 2019, we won the Game Awards Best Mobile Game of 2019 and gave out the S36 Evil Clown Shark, and many people were grateful and appreciative, while other people provided feedback about how powerful the weapon perceived to be. Remember, they're talking about December of 2019, when basically there was maybe like 5% of the population even knew what that gun was. So in the Season 3 patch notes, they actually nerfed the gun a little bit, but to be honest, it felt like the gun didn't even get nerfed at all, and they just go on talking about that, saying how they lowered the stability at long range, etc. And then they go, but the S36 so far has been performing in a happy medium, yep, a medium, a happy medium. I disagree with that, where it is easy to pick up and utilize for casual players. I agree with that. I mean, this gun is literally the easiest gun to use in the game. There's no recoil, a massive magazine, totally crazy fire rate, and insane damage per bullet, so it makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, not one of the guns that are primarily used by pro players. What defines a pro player? Are we looking at like people who drop nukes in freaking public matches? Are they pro players? Are we looking at the top of the ranked leaderboards? Are they pro players? Are we looking at people who play in tournaments on the global version of the app? Oh wait, there's not any tournaments on the global version of the app. There's only tournaments on the Garena version of the app. Shout out to Indonesia, who I seen were playing in a bunch of different tournaments recently. I've actually been watching them, and I do come into the chat and talk to the people who speak English, but the term pro players isn't really applicable here. They should have just said we're figuring it out from ranked or multiplayer or maybe even private match play. I mean, there's not really enough tournaments to really get a lot of valuable information from, and from the tournaments that I've watched, from the Indonesian majors that I watched, there is a lot of S36. Like, it's everywhere in those tournaments. Absolutely everywhere, and it's just people camping with the S36. But either way, remember, this was stated before the S36 took over ranked. So as they go on, they said, as we introduce new weapons or even just new variants of older ones, we'll continue to keep an eye out for any feedback surrounding that and do our best to balance them based on that and in-game data. Thanks for all the passionate conversations about this single weapon, the God-fearing S36, out there on our Reddit, Twitter, Discord, and Instagram communities. So this is where I'm like, huh. They wrote this probably 3-4 days ago, and in those 3-4 days, the balance of the game has completely shifted and narrowed very, very narrowly into what I would basically call a crack ravine. The only thing that I can guarantee you, if you're at Master or Legendary and Ranked, is that you're going to see at least one S36 in every single game. On average, I would say there's at least 2 though. There might be 4 S36s one match and then 1 S36 the next match, but on average, you'll probably see about 2 a game and at minimum 1 S36 every single match in the last 3 days. I would honestly say in the last 2 days it's got even worse. So we'll probably see this plague increase over the next couple of weeks, but like they said, they're taking feedback. If this basically stays the same as what it is, it's getting nerfed 100%. It's basically confirming that if the usage rates shoot up anymore, they're gonna nerf it, and that's exactly what's happened since this article was written. It has just shot up completely. I mean, everyone and their mother is using the S36. I think everyone can agree with that. It's 100% gonna get a nerf by the end of season 3 or the start of season 4. I would assume it's gonna get a nerf at the start of season 4, however, because they're trying to milk, as you can see, by the Phobos. The Phobos was coming for a while, so we can't really blame them on that. But then they added 2 random skins in the credit store because they seen that everyone was using the gun. It was the same thing with the AK-117 when it was the best gun. It was the same thing with the Type 25 when it was the best gun before it got nerfed. Every time they're gonna nerf a gun, they release the skins, I would say 2 to 3 weeks before they nerf it. So right now, if you're gonna go in and buy those skins and you want a skin to last you a long time, I wouldn't do it, because this gun's gonna be getting nerfed. We've seen it, like I said, AK-117, Type 25. I can't remember any other guns. I think they're the only 2 guns we've seen it with so far. But every time they release a bunch of skins for a gun and it's really overpowered, they nerf it pretty much instantly. Also, bans and enforcement. As part of season 3, we enter just a feedback loop for reporting players, etc, etc. If you report someone and we take enforcement action on them, you should receive a message telling you that they got banned. I actually played against a hacker recently, and I will show that video sometime soon here on the channel, so make sure to say subscribe for that. But basically, that was all the juicy stuff inside of this community update, and I'm basically guaranteeing that the S36 is going to get nerfed either by the end of season 3 or the start of season 4, and I will literally put my channel on it. I am saying right now that I can 100% guarantee it's going to get nerfed. Like, it just is going to get nerfed. There's never been a gun like this in Call of Duty that has not been nerfed. So I'm going to assume that from the higher ups inside of the company of Timmy Studios and Garena, they're going to be told by Activision, the company that actually licensed the game to the developers, that they need to nerf this gun, because it's always been like that in Call of Duty. The gun that is being used the most always gets nerfed, no matter what. It's just the way the world works in Call of Duty. But either way, once it gets nerfed, I'm going to be pretty happy, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching today's video are going to be super happy as well. I get a ton of complaints talking about this gun all the time. But either way, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed me updating you about the brand new community update that was posted on Reddit today. It's been your boy Ferg. I love y'all. Hope to see you in the next video or live stream. Without further ado, let's roll the outro. Bye!